Alright, so today we're going to be looking at making a custom playbook for Madden. Um, we're going into the settings, clicking on customize playbooks, and then we're going to create a defense today. So the playbook we use doesn't matter, you can just pick a random one. But the first thing that we're going to want to do is go to my playbook, go down to a defense formation we know we're keeping. We know we're not going to get rid of, so for me that's 60 out jacks because I like that play on goal line, and it shows up in pretty much every playbook. And the first thing we're going to do here is actually press X to rate the play, and then change the rating with A to 1 star on every one of these scenarios. We're going to make 60 out jacks or whatever play you pick 1 star out of 5 on all of these, and then save that. And that'll make sure that the game knows that we have a play for every situation in the game, even though we're not actually using that. That'll allow us to delete other plays in the playbook now that we have one play that the game considers universal. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove all plays in all of the other sets other than goal line 6-2 or whatever you had your thing saved in. You do that by just pressing Y and then yes. So we're going to delete the other goal line set. We're going to delete the nickel, nickel wide 9, all of the nickels. We'll keep prevent because we want some sort of prevent defense. If you want, you can individually delete them by pressing A to remove the play. But I'd say a general rule of thumb is at least keep those 4 for prevent. We're going to delete all 4-3, over plus, under, all that. Get that out of there. Gonna delete 4-4. And obviously you can set your playbook up with anything you want, but this is just so that we start with a clean, fresh basis. So you can see right here we have goal line and prevent. That's all we have in our playbook. There's no other plays. So the first thing we're going to do after that is go into all plays, and this is where we get to pick our own individual plays that we're going to be running in this playbook. So for me, I want a heavy run defense, and for that I'm going to be going into 3-4 odd, and I'm going to start it out by picking up the good 3-4 odd plays here. So we got cover 4, drop show 2, pinch buck O, cover 3 buzz buck, pinch dog 3. What else do we need here? Cover 2 sink, and cover 2 man. Is there anything else? Cover 1 robber. Alright, so is this our... Nope, we've got one more. Cover 3 cloud, okay. So those are all the formations that we're going to be using out of 3-4 odd. You can see when I go back to my playbook, I now have 3-4 odd, and I have these... What is that? 6, 8 plays out of 3-4 odd that I can go to. These are all reliable. There's not a whole lot of motion before the snap, so you're not going to get caught deep while guys are moving for any wonky blitzes. Those are just going to be your bread and butter for run stopping defense. And next we're going to go into big nickel, because for me this is the best all-around general purpose defense in the game. I'm going to pick up cover 2 man. The strong safety blitzes are both really good out of cover 2. And then there's another one, strong safety blitz 3. Pick that one up too. Cover 3 sky is really good out of this formation. Cover 4 quarter is always good to just have some sort of cover 4. Cover 6 trap is my personal favorite to run out of big nickel. And then strong safety linebacker blitz is going to be our 0 blitz out of this formation. Is there anything else out of this? I think these are all the big nickel ones we're going to be running. Oh, cover 3 buzz match. That's the last one. Okay, so now we have all of our 3-4 odd plays that we're going to be using. We have all of our big nickel plays. It's our general purpose. Those are all we're going to need. Simplify the defense for ourselves, make it easier to pick the right plays by not having a bunch of gunk in the way. And then my favorite pure passing defense in the game right now is actually at $1. It's just regular 3-2-6. And There's two. First, we'll just start by picking the plays you see. So cover 4 drop, contain, cover 2 drop. You'll see me pick plays throughout this and just remember what I picked, or just do your own thing. But these are what I like. My two favorite plays out of this one are cover 3, sky press, and then once we get down to it at the very bottom, there's one called cover 3 lock, I believe. Cover 3 lock is my favorite play, maybe in the whole game defense wise, just to run stock. A lot of defending on a high level comes down to making a bunch of different adjustments and positioning guys in different zones and cross manning up. But you know, when you're playing regs, I just like to run the defense stock as is with minimal adjustments, just so I can't get quick hiked. I don't take the game too seriously, so these are the plays I use at $1. Was that seven plays? So you can see I really only have 3 or 4 formations, 7 or 8 plays in each formation. I'm going to keep the game very simple for myself. There's no reason to overcomplicate it. We have a run stopping defense. We have an intermediate, like a general purpose defense, and we have a pure pass defense. And then for like really special situations, we have goal line and we have like prevent stuff. So the last thing we're going to do before we're done with this tab is go into our audibles. You don't have to do this, but I like to just set my audibles. Make sure that I can switch on the fly if necessary. So I'll keep like a man coverage and a 0 blitz, and then like my defaults is generally what stays in the audibles for me, just in case, you know, I want to come out in a zone blitz or a regular zone play, but then I feel like I need to audible to man, or I need to audible to a big blitz. I'll have those set in my audibles. So something like, but not necessarily that. You'll see me just continue to do this with all the other formations. And it's just to make sure that I don't have any blank spots, because when you make a playbook from the ground up, a lot of the times your audibles won't like autofill. You'll have to fill in the blanks here with stuff you actually want to run. So I think for actually creating the playbook, that's it. So we're just going to click save. I'm going to rename this to whatever you want. I'll have it as YouTube. And this is going to be our new playbook. You can see it saved successfully. And we can come back and make edits and change this whenever we want. But you can see if I go to edit defense, it's there for me whenever I want to go back and edit it. Have all the plays I want. And I can come back and add any extras whenever. So next we just want to make sure that this is our default playbook for every team we play. And for doing that, we go to settings, settings again, game options, and then offensive and defensive playbook. So you'll see these will start like this when you open it. For most people, it'll say team specific, but we're going to go and find YouTube or whatever your custom playbook is saved as. And that'll make sure that you come out in that playbook no matter what team you're playing with, so you can just keep the game consistent. I like to turn accelerated clock off too, but that's a different subject. So here in practice mode, we're just going to show a little bit about the game, how these defenses work in-game, how the playbook looks. You can see I have all the special teams I need. That doesn't get edited, but I have my 3-4, my dollar, my prevent, my big nickel here. Another big important thing to do for this is making your formation subs to have exactly the kind of people you want out on the field. So for me personally, I'm really comfortable with the Cardinals defense. I know the personnel, so I know that, for instance, I want Phillips in the middle, I want Chandler Jones out at that edge spot. I actually want to get Golden out of that outside linebacker and put him inside. Those are the 3 guys for the Cardinals I like on the 3 inside positions. For my 2 middle linebackers, I actually want to move Hassan Reddick out of there and put him next to Jordan Hicks. Those are my 2 middle linebackers I like running in this game. And then for the 2 outside linebackers that are blitzing half the time and dropping into flat coverage the other half, Devon Kennard and whatever his name on the other side, Campbell, I think, are fine for me. Yeah, Devondre Campbell. And now I just want my 4 best DBs So that's Isaiah Simmons, Buda Baker, Patrick Peterson, Byron Murphy. So that's who I got for 3-4 odd. It makes a big difference having the guys that you like in all the positions that you want them at. It's the run stopping defense, so we'll just show it against the run a couple times on a power run, just a standard power run. These are pretty common this year, pretty effective. The first thing that we want to do out of 3-4 odd whenever we come out of it, really any defense we come out in, for me, I personally, you can see we're coming out in this only rushing 3, cover 4. So this really shouldn't stop the run well. But what we're going to do is go right on the D-pad, or left on the D-pad, and then down on the D-pad to pinch our line. And that'll just cover up all the middle gaps. And you'll see with the middle gaps covered, and here we're going to press our guys, just because we're not worried about getting beat right now. We're going to play underneath to change those purples into hard flats. And then we're going to go over top so that we can change those hard flats into cloud flats. And this is the standard defense I like running out of 3-4. You can see with those pinched D linemen, he really doesn't have an angle to get to the inside. There's no holes, and I can very easily shoot the gap. You can see I kind of failed it there, but he didn't gain much yardage even after failing to shoot the gap. A really simple setup, just a couple button clicks. Left on the D-pad, down on the D-pad, Y, down on the right stick, down on the left stick, and then up on the right stick. And that just brings the guys down and press, puts them underneath coverage, back up over top to put them over top coverage. And you can see I shot the gap pretty perfectly there, but got picked up. You got a lot of guys out in coverage on this defense, and running against it's really only going to net you 2 or 3 yards. This is just an example. If I were to run like a zero blitz, like this pinch bucko, even this cover 3, where I have an extra guy on the line blitzing right away, pretty much anything you run out of this 3-4 odd is going to be really good against the run, as long as you remember to pinch that D line. The coverage adjustments like pressing, underneath, over top aren't really as important. The main thing is just to remember pinching that D line. That helps you stop the run in literally almost any defense I can think of. So you'll see me do it in big nickel, and you'll see me do it in dollar here. But speaking of those, I'll just go into big nickel really quick to show like what my personnel for that looks like. Basically the same. I mean, we know we want Chandler Jones out on that edge. We know we like Golden where he is. This time I'm going to put my starting D tackle along with Phillips on those 2 interior lineman positions. You know, I like having Hassan Reddick and Jordan Hicks in the middle for the Cardinals, but it's whoever you like on your team. Just get used to your own personnel. Isaiah Simmons and Jalen Thompson are going to be playing over the top because Buda Baker is in that big nickel spot. I really like big nickel because it's almost like 4-3. It's like a hybrid between nickel and 4-3 because you got that hard-hitting safety down in the box, but he can move around a lot better than a linebacker. You can see I can put anyone I want up in that second safety position as well. Like even another corner would be good just to get the speed. But I think big nickel works really well. Cover 6 trap, like I was saying earlier, this is the play I usually like to run out of big nickel. I feel like this coverage fools a lot of people into making bad throws. And we're going to kind of make the same adjustments we did with the same last defense. You know, I just pinch my D line, play underneath coverage, then back over top to get those cloud flats there. The thing I like about cover 6 is Peterson over here that plays this cloud flat. You can see I'll go over, there's a lot of time there's a slot receiver or over where he is right now that likes to run this crossing route. Gets over beneath your deep zone and over top your flat. But for some reason on this cover 6 trap, Peterson likes to kind of play back and guard that route. So that's kind of the main reason I like to run this one. I'll just use her the middle of the field. So for the last thing, these are my two favorite defenses in the game. Both at a dollar. Um, Dollar personnel is actually really similar to 3-4. We're just putting corners in where we used to have linebackers. So I still like keeping Chandler Jones, Corey Peters, or Phillips, whoever I had in there, in the middle. I like my two linebackers where they are, Hicks and Reddick. And the only thing we're going to do is actually put our two best corners here, Murphy and Peterson. We're going to put them in the slot on both sides. We're going to put them at the inside corner positions and put our less good guys on the outside. And just keep our safeties the way we always keep them. I keep Isaiah Simmons and Buda Baker out on the field. But yeah, Drake Kirkpatrick and whoever the Robert Alford are my like number 3 and 4 corners in the depth chart. I want those guys on the outside because oftentimes the biggest threats are going to be the guys lined up in the slot. And the way we counter guys in the slot is with this cover 3 lock play. You'll see, I think this is the only play in the game that you actually get to come out. We'll just go in against a bunch, like one of these really common crossing route plays. I think this is the only play stock that is a man zone hybrid. So by default, depending on how you flip the play, one of your corners is going to line up in the slot. Right now it's Byron Murphy on Tyler Lockett. He's going to line up in the slot man-to-man coverage when the rest of your stuff is zone. This really messes with people and baits them into bad throws. If you know you're not playing a guy that's running, we're going to pinch that D line again just like we always do. But if you know the guy is not running or his run hasn't really been popping off, or you have someone like Kenny Clark on the Packers that just blows up runs anyway by himself, this defense is really good to run against the pass. You can see I'll let him hike it. All of that's covered. I mean, he can go throw to the flat there, but if you had hard flats, he's not doing that either. You could see Byron Murphy on Tyler Lockett up on the other side. You know, is just completely lockstep covered no matter what he does. He's not going anywhere, and everyone else is in zone. So this really messes with people. And if you're not getting the guy you want manned up, you can always switch over to your slot corner and man him up to a different guy instead. Like now I'll man him up on Moore. And you can see the play is virtually identical. It's just I have my extra D-back lined up on the interior most slot guy to cover that crossing route. And I can just play in my zone. You can see that's not open. You know, that's probably getting picked and online. There's just cover 3 lock for me if you know you're not really going to be running in to someone with a strong run game is just the most shut down default play for passing in the game. Someone really has to be creative to start mixing it up and beating it. The other thing I like to run out of this is cover 3 sky press. This is practically identical to the cover 3 lock, but you can see the difference here once we pick this offensive play is we're going to have our corner in the zones. All corners, all D-backs are in the zones, but one of our linebackers actually takes over as a QB spy. You don't have to manually set a QB spy. That frees you up to make other adjustments or do whatever you want. Blitz an extra guy. Whatever you want to do. Your second linebacker over there, Jordan Hicks, I think, for this play, he's already in a QB spy. So if you know they're liking to scramble, they're liking to run a lot, it's just another play that you can come out stock in, and I don't know why he made that shot for DK there. That's a covered ball, and he threw it out of bounds. But hopefully we can get Russell to scramble here so that you can see that Akeem Hicks really just dogs him down and hawks him down, doesn't let him get anywhere, and we don't have to make that adjustment manually and get caught doing something we don't want to do. We can just focus on our user. Maybe if I man this guy up and then play Kirkpatrick a little backed up on Metcalf, we'll get Russell to scramble just so I can show you. No, he's still going to throw to Metcalf, even though that's covered by me, backed off. I don't... Alright, we'll try it one more time. Maybe we can get him to scramble if absolutely looks like Metcalf isn't covered, just to show that this play does work against scrambling quarterbacks. You don't have to contain or anything. You just have that QB spy out there played by a reasonably fast linebacker. And now he's going to throw to Metcalf again and get picked off again because we have a whole bunch of speed out on the field. I